Good day, I am Kadeen Smith of the United Nations, and today I'm joined by Mr. Cedrick Tilma, the government of Aruba's representative to the European Union. Welcome.
Pleasure.
Today we're going to be speaking a bit about the Center of Excellence for Sustainable Development being established in Aruba. And first of all, Mr. Tilma, I just want to find out, what's your thoughts on Aruba being this knowledge center for sustainable development?
Well, I believe that there couldn't have been a better area to establish a knowledge center, not just because I'm from Aruba, but also because I know that the policy of this government has been to work on a sustainable transition for the last almost 80 years. So there's a lot of knowledge on sustainable processes, not only in energy, but other processes. So for the UN to choose Aruba to establish a physical center of excellence office is almost a logical choice.
So the Center of Excellence, it was launched in November 2016 by the government of Aruba in partnership with the UNDP and a number of other stakeholders. What do you see the benefits of the COE as being for small island developing states to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals?
Well, first of all, I think it's very important to have a place where the knowledge on sustainable transitions comes together. In the past, very often, when it comes to complex processes, especially complex governmental processes, for small islands, there wasn't enough local knowledge how to deal with these processes, and knowledge was shipped in, if I can call it that way, from abroad. Consultancy firms would come and assist local small governments to help with these processes, which is good to do that. However, the knowledge how to do it never stays here, and it's never done based from what the need is in these small development states. So the fact that there's a center of excellence here not only makes it easier to reach out for knowledge on complex processes and how to assist, with the sustainable transition that Aruba is going through, but it also makes it easier for other island nations to access, because it's gathering knowledge on complex processes is something that's an ongoing thing. So it only makes sense to have a center of excellence on sustainable development and reaching these UN-defined goals when it comes to SIDS in an island.
Yeah. And moving away from SIDS, if you're focusing on the overseas countries and territories, what are some of the successes and challenges from your observation that these countries faced in trying to adopt sustainable practices?
Well, let me start with the challenges first. I mean, you can imagine that there's 25 overseas countries and territories to the European Union, and they are very, very diverse. They're very dispersed. They're scattered across the globe, from the poles to the tropics. Greenland is an OCT, but so is the island of Pitcairn with 50 inhabitants. There's 12 in the Caribbean. There are specific OCTs such as French Polynesia, which in its size, including their territorial waters, are as big as the entire European Union, to New Caledonia, where Aruba fits 100 times. So they're very diverse. It's a non-homogeneous group. So you can imagine each has a different kind of a challenge. Yeah. Being far away from Europe is one. However, just the small scale you have is a challenge in itself, and you always have capacity issues. Whenever we have well-educated people from the islands, often it's too enticing to apply your skills in larger markets in the US, in Australia, in Europe. So to retain talent is also a big challenge for the islands. When it comes to opportunities, from early on, within OCTA, the Association of Overseas Countries and Territories, we said we shouldn't just look at challenges as an obstacle to achieving our goals. We should also look at the upside and the opportunities. And there's some really interesting opportunities when it comes to, for example, energy transition. Small islands, because of their scale, their scope, they are actually ideal places to test certain solutions when it comes to energy transition. We have a lot of sun, we have a lot of solar hours. Even if you want to test complex marine energy solutions, this is the place to be. So also when it comes to other solutions that maybe larger markets are looking for. The OCTs could be very interesting places to, in a smart way, test solutions. And we have a simple layer of government, it's a confined area. So that's where the opportunity side is when it comes to implementing the Sustainable Development Goals.
Okay, and how do you see initiatives such as the COE supporting these OCT islands in particular?
Well, I think it's very interesting that the knowledge is being gathered, being concentrated here, and that governments or people working in whatever government function it is in small islands that sometimes have challenges that they think they cannot overcome, that they can contact the Center of Excellence and say, for example, well, you know what, we are working on a policy, how to have more decent work and economic growth in our society, but we're looking for ways how to, make a better vision, make a better policy, and make this work. Or maybe we say, well, we have gender equality issues, or we have affordable and clean energy issues that we want to implement. So the sheer fact that you can access this knowledge to a team of people in a center that operates on a similar scale makes it that the solution that's being recommended or presented much more applicable. So I definitely see an added value there in just having it right here.
So what do you see as some of the next steps for the Center of Excellence in achieving its targets and goals?
Well, I can see the Center of Excellence seeking out partnerships with other initiatives in the region. The European Union, for example, is quite active in the region with programs for both all of the OCTs, also in association with CARICOM. There are thematic programs where the OCTs work together. So if the Center of Excellence could find synergy in what they are doing, it would benefit both both the existing programs that the European Union is working on and the goals here. And I can see a very clear example, if you can cooperate, for example, on especially sustainable energy, which is one of the focal programs for the 11 EDF, 11 European Development Fund regional program for the Caribbean OCTs. I can see the Center of Excellence playing a role there, whether it is in a passive role in just bringing people together and be a platform and disseminate knowledge, or maybe a more active role in the actual implementation of the programming. And I think it's you can see it in other areas of the world where there's UN and European programs working together. So we definitely should seek synergy there. There's smart people working on both sides of the equation, and that can only benefit the islands.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being here and for sharing your insightful thoughts with us. Thank you for watching.